So you can do regular reading Prabhupada books, but some certain sections, what you can do, certain days, maybe 1 or 2 days in a week, what you can do, you can just read only one page in 1 hour, uh, where you underline, you think about, for example, sections of Kunti's prayers, Gajendra Moksha prayers. Some purports are called golden purports. Prabhupada purports are very good. So I would generally underline important portions and give a heading to them. And then later on I'll index them by writing in the backside. And also, how do we do that? You can see parallels. Like Ajamila, parallel of Ajamila is seeing some bad side, Narada is seeing some bad side in the Nalakur Manigrave. Ajamila is falling down, Narada doesn't fall. He delivers them. Similarly, penance of Dhruva, penance of Hiranyakashipu, you can compare like that. Similarly, penance of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana. So penances, you can compare different people, how they did, for whom they did, and what they aspired, what was their motivation, what is pure and what is... So in this way, when you comparatively study, making comparison, contrast, evaluation, and this kind of things when you do, although it is beginning with intelligence in the beginning, you are applying your intelligence to do this kind of comparison, contrast, and evaluation of the situation and all these things. Eventually, it will sink in the heart over a period of time. When you do that and read, then you think about personal application. How does this apply to my life? How does it apply in other people's lives? Like Bhagavatam should not remain theoretical. Like today in the class, I told many examples, right? From my sister's life, my life. Actually, how do we come to this point? When you contemplate, the relevance of that in our life will pop up, it will come, understanding will come. Otherwise, Shastra remains up in the clouds. It doesn't come down. So, when we think, so one of the ways I have seen great preachers, what they do, like now I gave a class now. After the class, ideally speaking, what we should do, we should sit in circles of 4, 4, 5, 5. And I will give 5 questions based on the class. And then these 5 questions will be discussed in the group with respect to application in personal life and then in preaching application. How we can inspire others to follow this principle of dainya, how to tell others what is dainya, things like that. So that kind of loud thinking in the company of other devotees, individually or collectively, that will lead to awakening of wisdom and realizations. And sometime we should take out for that, if not every time. Every time you are going to contemplate to read, then your reading will become very slow. You will never make progress. So, and also not all sections need to be read contemplatively. Some sections definitely have to be read contemplatively. They are very deep. For example, Chaitanya Prabhu's some of the articles, you cannot do fast reading. No, you will have to little think about what he's saying. So similarly, some sections of Prabhupada's purports will need time to understand it. Sometimes you have to ask also others, help me to understand it like that. But some sections are like information, stories, pastimes, it can go faster. And also one more thing we can do, certain things we can cram and repeat. Like, gopis are meditating on Krishna going to forest, and that's called, Prabhupada says, Leela Smaranam. So I had taken all this, underlined, repeatedly read the chapter and I have spoken it in many places. So by repeating that which is spoken in the parampara, that will also sink in the heart. When we repeatedly read it, remember it, relish it, and repeat it. So certain information we should take as it is. We don't have to think much because these are pure pastimes. Even if you have no realization, if you keep, like this Maharaj, what is his name? Prahladnanda Maharaj. Cover to cover, he knows Krishna book. Any pastime you ask, he can just speak the whole thing from Krishna book. So parampara information, when you hear, hold, and repeat, that itself is greatness. Apart from that, certain section can be elaborately analyzed and understood. So contemplation means the given content. Reflection means your own life. Ajamila, for example, he heard what Vishnuduta said and he understood, my Lord, holy name is so great, I never knew it. Then he reflected, what kind of life I was leading. I was a debauchee and I did all this nonsense. He cried and then he repented bitterly because of reflection. And third is plan of action, that I will go to Haridwar, I will stay in the Vishnu temple, daily take a bath in Ganga, and chant the holy name, associate with saintly persons, worship Vishnu, deity, and then 12 years he perfected it. 3-step process: contemplation, reflection, plan of action. So by doing this repeatedly, regularly, this will become a second nature for us. Even in sitting in the railway station with loud noise, you can still chant the holy name attentively, and still you can contemplate on what you read. Actually, over a period of time, one line you hear from Prabhupada in the early morning before Mangalarti, that will keep ringing in your head all day. Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada said this. Correct, no? That should become a habit over a period of time. Thank you. Now it's time now. I can, okay, quickly, yeah, tell me.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So actually, we heard today a lot of nice devotees expressing how they are feeling of Danyam, and
correct.
it feels so soothing and so amazing in the heart. But so I want to just get a little clarity on, like, we know this Patita and this Kapata and
correct.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not Kapata Pavan. So,
yeah.
I mean, for example, just now we saw the example of Ajamila. So he did bad things and later he realized and he evolved as a very amazing devotee. But in personal life, let's say when I find myself perpetually going into this propensity, so I'm not sure if
one of the ways
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is happy.
One of the ways to avoid the perpetually, repeatedly slipping, falling, that is possible to avoid by good association. Likely that in our life, certain time of our life may be extremely demanding material. Say somebody is doing PhD, for example. You have to submit the thesis, and day and night you are going to lab and working. No association, no proper chanting, no reading of proper book. Such times are also there. But afterwards, you become a teacher or professor somewhere. You are set in a job now. Life is smooth sailing now. Then one should make the best out of the time opportunity. Our life is never very smooth. Proper said, smooth sailing cannot be expected in this world. But there's a time of calm, there's a time of storm. So when you have to complete your PhD, time of storm. After you got settled in a good job, stable job, time of calm. So in time of calm, you should do training, association. Just like left, right, left, all the army soldiers do that. When there is a storm, the war comes, then they have to fight. Similarly, right now we are all sitting in temple hall and hearing, what is it? Is it time of calm or storm? Calm. Then you take advantage of association. Staying in association will take us through regularly. So like someone like you, I would suggest you join one of the Bhagavatam study circles, like Radheshyam and others are doing. So you will have friends also there. There'll be 10, 12 families will be there. Maybe 20 friends are attending. And then in that, whatever you all discuss, the whole week, it will keep ringing in your head. Say, Ambarish Maharaj you discuss. Or you discuss Krishna Sudama. So it's a good thing with Bhagavatam is once something goes inside, our mind has a tendency to munch on whatever you give. I have personal experience, I can say that. Once I read a pastime, wherever you go, that keeps on coming in the head. And then you keep speaking from that. So, like a blotting paper, if you put an ink pen, then it expands. Mind also is like that. And if I don't feed spiritual things, then material things enters. Something else. And that will haunt us. So therefore, we should consciously take out time to associate with devotees. And in that association, everything else will come. They will discuss about sadhana, japa, seva, and svada. Everything will come and you will be very protected. Does it make sense?
Yeah. So at the same time, is it possible to have this both feature, Patita and Kapata, or is it like
No. We are all growing devotees because in the stage of growth, both these tendencies are there. So therefore, either we should be perfect devotee or we should be a struggling devotee who is humble and prayerful. My dear Lord, I am not fully pure. I am falling and struggling. Please kindly protect me. Lord will accept. Lord is not cruel. Like a mother accepts a toddler child. Mother doesn't slap a toddler child. Why can't you get up? Mother is sympathetic. Lord is also sympathetic. At the same time, we should not fall repeatedly and justify it saying that, hey, nobody can make it. Even Shastra say big souls are falling down. So my falling down is also all right. One should not justify like that. One should be genuine and humble and prayerful and pray to Lord, please protect me. Then that attitude is very vital. Right attitude, then Lord will also accept us. Thank you. Good question. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Thank you very much.